What's up, friends? Greetings. Good Friday to you. It is Kevin Rogers. That's me. How are you? Good to see you. I'm coming to you from St. Petersburg, Florida. Let's keep it local, friends. And that's where we'll be together late October, 28, 29, 30, leading up to the Halloween festivities. What's up, everybody? Good to see you. Welcome. Come on in and join us. We got a hot show for you today. Hey, David Power. Good to see you, buddy. I've been thinking a lot about you, and I want us to have a call and catch up. You guys know David Power? I'm telling you what, man. Some people are just so good at what they do, and when they're that good on multiple things, it always scares me a little bit because I'm like, man, I got to work hard to be good at one thing. How some people just like, you know what I mean? He's going to be good at everything. But David is not only a very accomplished, sought-after copywriter in the financial world, a video producer extraordinaire. It's a no-brainer for me to go to David with anything I need done video. And you know what he does, man? He takes my ideas and he says, got it. And then he goes over there and he does like this, like he's about to do a magic trick or something. Then he goes, how's this? And I go, better than I was going to do it. And then I say what he says to say, and he takes the video and he hands it back to me. And it's a dream come true. And that's, one of those things, man, where if your motivation is genuine and you're really good at stuff, like be good at that stuff, right? And because here's the context I'm not talking about that I want to talk about is as freelancers, because I'm in the middle of RFL right now with an amazing group. I mean, every RFL group just blows me away. This group, nothing short of amazing, the way they're supporting each other and they're finding like new inspiration, and it's just incredible. We're going to talk to some of our current RFLers today on our best things. And by the way, we got what's up, Alan? Good to see you. Hi, Amanda. We got a breakdown at the end of we're going to put a panel together for Veronica. Is Veronica here? Hi, Veronica. Good to see you. Welcome. Excited to look at your copy and get you some help. But man, as freelancers, like we strive so hard sometimes to come up with our perfect hook, our angle, our competitive advantage, all these things. And that's what RFL helps us work through and figure out. But I got to share it with everybody. I had a bit of an epiphany today. Is Doug here? I wonder if Doug's here. Doug's not here today. Hi, Dina Colada. Good to see you. Try saying that name without getting the song stuck in your head. I know Dina she's actually has great humor about it. But so I was talking to Doug on one of our calls, and Doug Van Berserk. That's not correct. I can't remember exactly how to say it unless I'm seeing it. But Doug, really good copywriter, really sharp guy. And we were talking about, you guys are familiar with the bat signal talent, right? So as freelancers, one of the big breakthroughs I had in my career was discovering that, you need to specialize. And if you're doing work actively, you're specializing either by design or default, right? And so like anything, if we're conscious about it ahead of time and we're doing it by design, then we don't get defaulted into something that we didn't want. So as a quick example from my experience, when I first got active as a freelancer and started getting work, it was in sort of like the ClickBank BizOps space. Did not enjoy it. And but by default, that's became my specialty, because once I started getting results from my clients there, other clients came along and started shoving cash at me. And when you're a new freelancer trying to prove the model, having cash shoved at you makes you dance harder and keep dancing and keep showing up for that cash. And so I did a few more shifts than I would have liked to at that club. And it finally decided I need to change my specialty so that I can enjoy my work more and feel more inspired about the kind of clients that I'm attracting in my life. And then so I created a specialty by design, which was then fitness and health related copy. Okay. And so just to, I know I've opened 3 loops since we started talking here. I'm going to go back to David in a second. So in talking to the RFLers today, they are on module 2, which is all about sort of like honing in on your specialty, finding your bat signal. And Susan, here was the epiphany. We ask you to choose because the most important thing is for you to go through, adopt and embrace and put into action the idea of having a specialty, and that it will influence your authority content, the things you write about and teach about and study, right? It makes it much easier for me and others to recommend you because, as I say, when you have a specific specialty, you instantly get a card in my mental Rolodex. And then as happens daily, somebody says, "Hey, Kev, can you recommend a copywriter who?" And I go, "Yeah, I was just talking to somebody who has that specialty. Let me connect you." And that's why specializing is important. However, it's challenging to choose a specialty because, like it is challenging to do any work for ourselves, much easier to do it for other people, right? We got all up in our heads, and we start to feel like, oh my God, this is such a huge line in the sand decision that if I don't get it right, I'm going to regret it. And I'm going to put this energy towards something, and people are going to have this misconception about me. And how the hell will I ever back out of this? And none of that is true. But I 100% understand why we have those concerns. So in talking to Doug, he was thinking through his specialty, and I realized we need to flip one thing we've been doing. So we've been saying, okay, choose your bat signal and then go write an article that backs up your bat signal, right? I'm going to say now instead of choosing your bat signal, we have a thing that we call the matrix. Fill out the matrix, and it's 4 things. It's the thing you love writing most. It's the thing you have experience writing most. It's your previous professional experience. And then it's things that you're just passionate about and have knowledge about, right? And so you look at that matrix and you choose things, and you contemplate your bat signal. You generate some ideas about what your bat signal could be. And before you go having people shine it up on you, here's the thing, and this is going to be the theme of today's Chief Chat, is breakdowns, okay? Because what we're ultimately going to do with our specialty and the way to become a specialist and a known specialist and respected in the industry is teaching, just teaching what we know and what we're seeing, right? And so if we're going to be a specialist and we're going to be educated about what we do and we want to be seen as a leader in what we do, we've got to talk about it and we've got to teach it, right? And again, this is something I did in my career, not on purpose. I only reverse engineered after I became successful. How did I do what I do? What actually made the difference? When I was doing it, I was just doing it out of instinct. But for instance, I was constantly breaking down John Carlton's copy because I studied it. I loved it. It meant a lot to me. I learned from it. And I just wanted to share what I was seeing in his copy. I once took a Roy Peter Clark, one of his writing tools, and combined it with parts of John's letter. And that was one of my favorite posts. And that got it. So point being, breakdowns, man. Do copy breakdowns. See if good. Chris is here. Awesome. So we're going to talk to Chris Orzakowski in a second, because Chris is started doing this recently and brilliantly, as he does everything. And it's just it's the simplest thing you can do and teach, because if you're a copywriter and you're studying, you must be breaking down the copy you're reading in your own mind as you read it. Is that not true? We're all doing that, right? And all you got to do then is find a way to teach it, and that's comfortable for you. It might be an experience you had with a piece of marketing, a business. I wrote one. Let me share a screen and give you some examples. Let me get on the right page. So I wrote one. I did many of these, and not all of them made it over when I got rid of my old blog, The Copywriter's Edge. Remember that classic, y'all? Some of the material made it over. This was one called How to Make People Love Giving You Money. Pretty good title, right? And this is probably not true, but my headline was, there's only one way to make men enjoy shopping for clothes, and Trunk Club did it. And so this is a breakdown of this whole experience I had where a company called Trunk Club saw me on Creative Live. And I don't know if you can see these photos, but I was clearly the guy who didn't get the memo that, hey, if you're going to be on TV, maybe dress nice. You know, there's Melanie Duncan. She's a fashionista. There's a young Pat Flynn who, you know, who's wearing his dad's suit. Pat used to dress very formally, right? And there's Kev. And you know what influenced my wardrobe? The fact that we were in Seattle. And I was like, I'm going grunge, man. I got a head nod, hat tip to Dave Grohl up in this. And so there's my brilliant outfit. Jeans, sneakers, and flannel. So how do I get out of this? Okay. And so then I get this email from a woman who says, Kevin, I'd like to be your personal stylist. Wow, great timing. And Mary Houlihan, and she goes on to tell me that she saw me on Creative Live, and it just so happens that Derek and Pat are clients of hers, and she loved my style and would like to know if I was interested in having her send me clothes, and I could go through them and keep what I like and send back the rest and only pay for what I want. And we know now that this is a common practice for how to shop for clothes. Anyway, point being, inspiration can come from anywhere for doing breakdowns. Somebody who does them extremely well is our friend Will Hookinga. Will's been on my podcast a couple times. He's a member of Copy Chief, and he has taken breakdowns kind of to the next level. He adds these emojis, Bitmojis, and makes them really fun. Also does a really smart thing. Has a feed of Twitter and people like talking about how great these breakdowns are, right? So social proof right there. And Will just makes these like super cool and fun. And even before he added the Bitmoji and all the cool stuff, I always admired Will's breakdowns. Because again, it reminded me of what I did and what I preach, which is do what's on your mind. You don't have to kill yourself to try to come up with content. Just talk about what you're seeing as a copywriter, because man, it reminds us that what we're doing is special and unique and interesting and not the norm. It's great that your neighbor has no effing idea what you do when you try to explain it to them at the barbecue, at the block party. And they come up to you 2 weeks later and go, hey man, I got a legal question for you. How do I copyright a poem? I wouldn't call myself a poet, but I wrote a thing that I think's pretty good and I just don't want to get it stolen. So you help me out with copyright. Okay. And so that's, good, because it makes us specialists, unique. The fact that you're obsessed with copy and becoming a freelancer and making yourself available, it's a specialty, man. You're already a specialist. So you need to celebrate that. Don't compare yourself to anybody else who's ever done this or taught this or broken down a piece of copy. It doesn't matter. Find your style, find your way, and educate people on what you do. All this to say, to circle back to, I saw Dave and it inspired me to talk about this. Dave Power has several specialties. He is to me, in my experience, and I've worked with a few, as good a video producer as you could find. And of course, you know, if you want to get into filmmaking or something, he might go, well, that's where I draw. I don't know what, but for me, for a marketer, man, I'm telling you what, you just can't beat somebody who totally gets what you're trying to do, can take your ideas, make them better than you gave them, give you a script, and then hand you back amazing video. If you see the video at the top of the Real Free Life sales page, that's David's work exactly in that process. All right. So it's not hurting David that he, you know, writes financial copy and to also be known as a great video producer. It only makes him, it fortifies his abilities, but you know, you have to compartmentalize, but you can have multiple specialties in bat signals. Okay. Let's talk to Chris for a minute because Chris was cool enough to come on because I wanted to chat because Chris just started doing these things. What's up, my brother?
What's up, Kev? Can you hear me?
Yeah, bud.
Awesome, dude.
Good to see you. So you just started doing these email of the week. And this was a little moment for you because we work together and talk a lot about your approaches to building your business. And you always write great stuff and it always gets a response. But there are times when you were like, I got to write something. And you're really disciplined about getting it out. But sometimes you felt like, what can I yank out of the old keister today and put out there, right?
Yeah.
But when you started doing these breakdowns, you got genuinely excited and thought, dude, this could become a thing because I love doing these.
Yeah. It's funny. Like, you know, obviously we have that Authority Content Challenge group that we do, me and some of the other super group members. And there'd be some weeks when I'm real fired up and I want to write an article. And there's some weeks when I'm like, I literally have no idea what to write, but I know I'm on the hook and I know there's going to be penalties if I don't submit something. So after a while, I was like, this doesn't make any sense as a system, right? Like something's broken here. So, and, you know, I've been doing content for about 2.5, 3 years now. So I've gotten to that point where I've tried so many different things where I'm like, you know what's something I could do over and over and over again that'll really like kind of give me energy. And I thought about the breakdowns. I know other people had done them, but for me, there were a lot of reasons why I chose to do it. Obviously, it's an incredible demonstration. You know, there's only so much stuff you could show of your own work before people are like, hey, stop bragging about yourself, you know? So like, you know, I mean, I'd love to just show one of my emails every week, but people might get tired of that. So I figured I would just show some other really cool stuff. Yeah. And another thing too, was that after a while, I just felt like my writing was getting stale just from working on the same types of promos over and over and over again. And I was like, I need to just kind of like pull from outside, you know, my limited worldview in the industries that I've been working in and just see what everyone else is doing and see how I could kind of take some of those principles and then work it into the stuff that I do. And it's just in the last few weeks doing these, I even, you know, besides all the benefits of list growth and engagement and all those cool things, it's just helped me fall in love with writing again.
I love it, man. And talk to us about, I'm going to show quickly what yours look like. And again, who knows if this, like Will's did, evolve into some, hey, Cartoon Chris is, you know, whatever it is, man. It doesn't matter. They're fine as they are. Point is, this is you at the beginning stage of this, already getting a ton of, I mean, people are giving you love in the comments. So this is how they look. Talk us through a little bit. Like, did you think much about a format for these, or did you just kind of start going at it?
Yeah, so I had some like ideas that I knew I wanted to include. I wanted to kind of create a framework, although it's definitely going to evolve over time. I knew one of the big things was I kind of wanted to make it into an event each week where I know that one of my superpowers is consistency. So I wanted to kind of lean on that and say, okay, I want this to be like that habit forming thing. Like there's this newsletter I just signed up for called Morning Brew, and it's awesome. I just signed up for it this past week, but it's like, I look forward to that now. And I was like, if I could kind of do that with this series, I could get people like, oh, it's Friday, it's email of the week time, I'm going to pay attention to Chris's stuff. So kind of like hacking people's attention loop is, you know, I don't know if I've successfully done that yet, but that's my theory. And I think it'll kind of work that way. But, you know, what I wanted to do was I wanted to kind of turn it into a TV show that's not on video, which is kind of weird, but I wanted to be like episodes. Like each week you're going to tune in, you're going to learn some cool stuff. It's going to be super valuable. And also it's just like this really cool swipe file of awesome emails. So I knew that just a combination of all those elements would really just, you know, help help with everything I'm doing in my business. So the format is kind of the same. I kind of just start off with the rules in case people are new, and I call them rules, but it's just like, here's what I'm doing, and obviously I like trying to bring people in and say, hey, if you found something, submit it and I'll feature you and give you a link to your site and everything else. So, it's not just me looking for emails, it's other people, and I can kind of elevate them too.
Right.
But it just gives everyone good ideas, and it gives me good ideas, and it's just kind of a win-win,
And you know what else I love about it? Two things you've done with it as well is that you're always refining your bat signal. And right now it's e-commerce, email, copywriting specialist, right? Because, and we won't go into all the reasons behind that, but a great lesson in itself. And it also, what it does is, man, it attaches you to something because you broke it down for people. So like pretty much every time they see an ad, or see the yearly Wikipedia donation campaign, they see the watches, the different things you talk about, now you're anchored to those products as a specialist, and that's the other thing that's brilliant about it. Because, man, when we can take what everybody's seeing and point out what's unique and amazing about it, they go, it's just, that's the authority piece where they go, damn, like Chris has these goggles that I want it. How do I get those goggles? Maybe I know I'll take his course.
Hopefully. It's funny too, like another benefit that I didn't really realize until I started doing it was that I also, and you'll see like in the bottom of those, I do like the big takeaways, and it's kind of usually like a numbered or a bolded list of just like short, quippy type like pieces of advice with your emails. And what I've started to realize is like some of these concepts and themes keep coming up. Yeah, right there, like big takeaways. Yeah. Like I'm starting to notice, like one of the things I think I've written like 4 times is like make your customer the hero of their own story, So like after a while, just doing this over and over, like we all have systems when we write. And this is one of the things I learned from Abby and from you and other people. Abby was very big on like, there's always a system, whether you see it or not. So by me kind of documenting all the stuff that I'm seeing in the emails, I'm essentially going one step further and even documenting more of my email system, because these are the things that I notice in particular. What someone else notices might be a little bit different, but that's part of their system for writing and getting results and everything else. But I'm able to kind of take all these abstract ideas and make them concrete on paper.
I love it, dude. And again, that's why I preach authority content so hard, because it's not just what it does externally to grow your business and to educate people about what you do. It's what it does internally for you to learn your own systems. Mm-hmm. And that was a great example of one like you said, somebody could be breaking down almost the same emails you are, and they'll come up with a different running theme because that's what comes through their filter, right? And so That's why I say, forget anybody else teaching it or doing it or who's done it. Like if you let that hold you up, it's a false assumption that you're competing with that. And you'll never get to those epiphanies of, oh, this is a thing for me. And so maybe Chris's next book is how to be the hero of your own story. Again, has it been said before? Sure. By people more technically qualified to teach story? Maybe. Does it matter? Fuck no. Because Chris is people are gonna go, I love Orzechowski. He wrote this new book, kick ass. It's just it all perpetuates itself, but you got to do it, man. So yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you for coming on. And I don't know if you have time, if you're hanging out.
Yeah, I'll hang out.
Okay, come. I'll bring you back for the other breakdown, the panel we're doing live here in a minute.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Awesome. So cool. So yeah, breakdowns, man. I think, and so again, I know when I open loops and don't close them. I'm still saying enough. Going back to my conversation with Doug and my tweet, because RFL, the thing I love about RFL is I've been teaching it that we're now in the 9th group, right? And that means I've spent a total of 8 to 10 weeks with each group going really deep and bringing them through this process. And the reason I love doing it that way, making it a coaching program and not a here's your course, good luck, is that I learn from the students every single time, because we're all learning from each other always. And so, I get to now iterate this idea, and my advice to all of you, I want to share it in real time, is instead of feeling like you have to, choose your specific specialty and get that perfect. Write about it, teach about it first. Maybe do some breakdowns or write 2 or 3 articles about it or whatever it is. Share an experience like I did with the Trunk Club, and in a theme of your chosen niche, your chosen, whether it's email or advertorial, whatever it is. And through that teaching, you'll start to see the bat signal, kind of like what Chris was just saying. He saw those running themes. And so rather than try to grab something and go, immerse in something and let it become known to you, let it show itself to you, and then tweak and move on. But again, everything happens in the doing. All right. So take advantage of opportunities to immerse in a writing challenge, a group effort, and whenever you can get feedback and coaching, put yourself in a position to get that from people you trust. And on that note, I want to remind you that producer in my ear reminding me to tell you, we got a Bullet the Podcast starting. I believe it's already live, and it is with. They're all great, but this one I'm excited is with my friend Brian Kurtz. I thought we had done Brian a podcast of his before, but this might be the first one. And so, if you don't know what a Bullet the Podcast is, essentially you listen to. This probably, I don't know if this is live yet, but it looks like we don't have the actual stuff in there. So we might need to add that in there. But September 5th, yeah, maybe this is this is live. Okay. We'll get you the stuff you actually need to do the challenge. But the deadline is September 16th. So okay, you've got time. It starts on September 16th, right? So what you'll do is you'll get the episode and you'll listen to it, and then you write bullets about it, and you see everybody else's bullets about it. And then I go through and I do a breakdown of your bullets, and I choose a winner, and we promote you as we promote the episode with your bullets. And it's just a great way to develop that copy muscle. And get feedback, and frankly see where you are and how you're I don't want to say ranking. This is not a competition, because where you are is exactly where you're supposed to be, as long as you're looking to be a step ahead and doing that work. But so it's not a ranking, but we're intelligent human beings. When you get to see the other people's bullets and you're going, hey, I'm doing all right. Or, hey, wow, okay, I thought I was doing really great, and some of these other bullets are blowing me away. How long has this person been writing copy? Oh, 2 years longer than me. That makes sense. Or 6 months less than me. Oh, okay, they have a different skill set. What can I glean from that? What can I learn? What can I apply? And I tell you, the most exciting part about the Bullet the Podcast for me, sort of like reviewing them and running these, is seeing so many copywriters evolve through from one competition to the next, like Anil and Joshua Bowen now, who's won twice, and back in the day, seeing Max Ham just come on as an amazing bullet writer, and it's just a lot, and it's a fun, friendly competition. So please dive in and have fun with the Bullet the Podcast. That's the thread there. Find it, jump into it. We'll get you the episode and all the stuff you need to start doing the work today, so that you can listen over the weekend and get the wheels turning. Cool. Starts on Monday. Okay, cool. So that's why it's not even really live yet, but we will get it. So that's the warm up, like the warning, and then we'll get you the stuff on. Actually, I'm going to say we'll put it there today. So if you're here and you're plugged in, you get an advantage. You get a head start. Okay, cool. Let's do thank you, Mike. Thread is live, challenge is Monday. All right. Well, I'm going to break the rules and say, let's put up the link to the episode today and give everybody who's here a head start. How's that sound? Cool. Cool. Okay. Breaking the rules, Alex. Alex, yeah. She loves rules, and she also loves people who break rules, and she loves to break rules herself. You're complex, Alex. Here's what I want to tell you. Two more things. One is let's do a couple best things. You know how the best things work. That is where I hand the mic over to you so you can teach me and everybody else something that's lit you up this week or recently, something you read in a book, something you heard on a podcast, something you encountered at a stoplight, you know, whatever it is. Use our simple framework of here's what it was, here's why I found it compelling, here's how I applied it. Well, here's an example of how it works. Here's how I applied it. And then an if-then statement. And that's the key, you see, because like it's much easier to write the joke when you know the punchline. And so when you know your if-then statement, you know how to end your best thing. And we try to keep them under 2 minutes because that's the optimal social network sharing, teaching time frame. And so I know our friend, one of the people I feel very thankful to have in the current RFL is here and is agreed. I'm looking for you. Rachel, I believe, is here. Is Rachel here? Why does my thing keep moving? I don't see Rachel. Are you here, Rachel? There, she already got her hand raised. Thank you. All right, so Rachel's going to come on and do a best thing. Who else? Somebody else raise a hand if you want to do this, and let's have some fun. The other exciting thing I want to tell you is that we have a new ambassador. And you guys know how important the ambassadors are to Copy Chief, the forum, the community. They are the lifeblood of everything we do here in Copy Chief. And I can't say enough about their importance to the community, their generosity in teaching and critiquing your copy. And this is all from love. They volunteer to do this. And it just kills me that they are willing to do that and serve at such a high level. And, you know, in exchange, I'm able to get to know them better and sometimes help them behind the scenes with their businesses. And they come to Copy Chief Live and they ambassador you there, and they are the welcoming committee, and they help us get set up and make it run great. And they're just amazing people. And it means a lot to me for somebody to be an ambassador as it does to you. And we call them badassadors because they're not your, because they're badasses. And so I'm thrilled to announce that Amanda Luft, formerly Foxcroft, is now a ambassador. Welcome, Amanda. I'm so thrilled to have you joining us as an ambassador. And really is Amanda's somebody I've known a long time and I've had a lot of conversations with, and she's been to both Copy Chief Lives, and she'll be at this Copy Chief Live coming up as a volunteer, as an ambassador there to greet you and make life better in all kinds of ways. So welcome, Amanda, for being welcome to the ambassador, the Badassador crew. Awesome. Exactly. Thank you, Amanda. Formerly known as Amanda Foxcroft. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Applause for Amanda. All right. Let's get our best things going. Judy's going to do a best thing. Let's start with Judy, and then I'm going to go to Rachel. Judy, longtime listener, first-time caller, I believe. It's the first time we've done this. Are we getting camera, Judy, or just audio? That's fine. Whatever works for you. I just need to be able to hear you. I'm going to unmute you.
There we go.
There you are. Hey, Judy.
Hello.
How are you?
I absolutely love in life is finding out new resources, new research resources, new productivity resources. And I'm sorry, this is a product, but I just was reviewing it last night, and just am so excited about it because this product creator, Amy Harrop, is a publisher, writer extraordinaire. She's like on one of the top 100 indie publishing blogs out there. And
what is the name again? Amy Hara?
Amy, A-M-Y.
A-M-Y, Amy.
Harrop, Harrop.
Harrop. Amy Harrop. Okay, cool.
And let me see if I can remember the name of the product. Is called Auto Magic Content. And I can't tell you what the sales page is. Hang on. I'll get it.
We don't have to promote. You can post it.
Okay. What I learned from it is I already learned a couple of a new mind mapping app. It wasn't new to me, but she has a spreadsheet of like 90 plus different resources, some of which you've heard of, but some of which I guarantee you have not.
Why was this an epiphany for you, Judy?
Why was it? It was multiple epiphanies for me in terms of having new resources to go out and find new ways to combine products. For instance, she has some stuff about how to use Kindle to grab content that you can go and reuse. So her whole thing is that you can, it's about where you can go find content, how to transform that content into, and how to find your own content, right? How to find hidden places where you have your own content, how to transform that content, not just from text to text, but into audio to text or text to audio, all of these different kinds of permutations.
Okay.
It's like a set of power tools for research.
How is this going to empower you to do something you weren't able to do before? Because that's what best thing is, kind of like, I discovered this thing and it shifted my thinking, shifted my worldview, and here's how I used it. And then, so if you're in the situation, consider this. It's usually more of a mental shift or something like that rather than a product.
Okay. Well, some of the mental shifts were just ways that I will be able to more easily research, find, and create content.
Right. So it's a handy tool that will help you find better content. And how will you use this content?
In every place, just like you were talking about creating authority content. Perfect. I mean, she has a whole bonus in there about how to, how to go find niche content and so forth. So,
all right. So
I may be wrong about the bonus. So
yeah, that's all right. So it's a way you found a cool way to resource all the information that's out there, filter it through your own unique lens, and make it easier for you to use it and teach it, sort of like we were talking about before, and help people shine your bat signal based on that.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, thank you for sharing that. And so, and if you're stuck feeling like there's just a world of information flying around every day and you'd like a better way to filter that information, contact Judy and ask her about this cool new product she found.
I mean, how to create, profitable content. So, although that is, it is an upsell I did not have access to, but she does have one in there which talks about
like I said, we're not here to sell her product. We're here more to like share a philosophy or something that shifted. But I get that this happened through that product, and so judges, will we allow it? Sure, we'll allow it. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you very much for letting me share that. Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Cool. It's good talking to you, and we'll do it again soon. Awesome. So Rachel Kraft, and the reason I asked Rachel to come on, not to put her on the spot, she's been something we do in RFL is we ask everybody to make videos, teaching videos, just like we're doing here with the best things, and Poser and different formulas. And Rachel's been really good at it, and could tell that video is a a really natural format for her. So with that, look at her. See, boom. I mean, you know, how camera ready, what we call live mic ready, big smile. You got your money on the wall there. You're ready to declare your new income.
Oh, yeah. Hi.
I love it. Good to see you. Hi, Rachel.
Good to see you too. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being on. So I will hand it to you. Tell us about the best thing you learned recently.
Okay. So for people who don't know me, I'm actually a teacher turned copywriter, graphic designer. And the reason I say that is because the best thing for me this week was actually making that poser video. That was something that really was a bit of a challenge for me, and it was a confidence boost for me to just get it done and do it. So I wanted to share how I did it. As a teacher, I'm an introvert, but I'm one of those sneaky introverts that can pretend to be an extrovert at certain times.
Sure.
I can kind of put on that face when I need to. And that's something I did for years as a teacher. Like before I would walk into the classroom, I'd kind of like take a deep breath and like go like this. And suddenly I was kind of this like ninja teacher who knew everything, and you couldn't ever fool me. I knew it all, and I could see every corner of the room. You couldn't get past me because they were kids. You know, I was a high school teacher. Good. So I had this persona that I would wear for years. And I knew I did this, but I never really had a name for it until I listened to your podcast when you were talking with Todd Herman about the alter ego effect. And when you said that, it just kind of really clicked for me that, oh, hey, you know, that's what I've been doing this whole time. So just to come full circle, when I was doing my poser video this week, I, you know, stare at that camera lens and it's this like big black hole of doom. Who's on the other side? I have no idea. So I really had to kind of pull from that teaching aspect of it and put on that alter ego, and which is totally what I'm doing right now. Like, right. My alter ego.
You'll be exhausted the second I let you off of this camera.
Oh, exactly. Go crawl into bed. But I think it's a really valuable skill for people to use. And, you know, I'm sure people have probably heard about it just from talking with you and from, you know, if they heard your podcast with Todd Herman or read his book or any of that kind of stuff. But I would say that if you are having trouble creating your authority content videos and you're having confidence issues or any sort of trouble with that, then I think that you should really embrace your alter ego, because it can really be helpful to kind of get you past that and give you the confidence and the get going that you need to do a great job with it.
Awesome. Really good job. Perfect. I have to ask now, do you have a specific alter ego, like a superhero or a character or someone from your personal life that you tap into?
It's not a specific person. It's kind of a version of myself.
Yeah.
So, and this is kind of silly, but you know, I know at Copy Chief Live, we're supposed to come as our alter ego.
For the party, right?
Like, I literally think of myself as like super Rachel. Like it's Rachel, but I'm the super version of it. I am super confident. I'm super knowing. I'm super outgoing. And so, yeah, it's not a specific person. It's just kind of attributes that I take from people around me that I really admire. And I try to put a version of myself.
Yeah, it's a mosaic of inspiring traits. Super Rachel. I love that. It's perfect. Because again, it's just agreeing with yourself that that's about to happen, right? Like you said, standing outside of the room and, all right, like only Super Rachel can handle this scenario. So boom, there we are. And I'll see you later, normal Rachel. I'll see you in the car on the way home.
Exactly.
Great job, Rachel. I appreciate you coming on.
Great. Thank you.
Wow. Right? Like so good. Again, like a willingness. You hear what Rachel's saying there? Like she looks fantastic. She's thought a little bit about her lighting and her set, and she knows being live mic ready means like being ready to pop on a platform and have a conversation and look like there's some thought went into how you're presenting yourself. That's all it really is. But it takes some effort and some thinking and some clicking around of buttons and stuff to be able to do that. And but more than that, it takes courage. And even with someone like Rachel, who I'm praising as having a seemingly natural ability to really do well on video, she's telling us it takes effort, and she even has to become sort of this alter ego to show up and do it. So I love that. And that's, again, like something, being vulnerable, and we cannot grow if we don't put ourselves in a position to feel vulnerable. And, remember that there will be no bloodshed, and you will grow. Awesome. Okay, great stuff. So good. So let's get to our critique. And anything I missed, Mike, announcement-wise or anything? I don't think so. Look at the rundown. Best thing. Great. We did that. Okay, cool. Yep. Of course, Copy Chief Live coming up. I mentioned that, October 28, 29. 29 is the party. And as Rachel mentioned, I thought it'd be fun, since it's so close to Halloween, to say optional. If you want to bring a costume, why don't you dress up as your alter ego? We'll have an alter ego costume party in honor of Todd Herman, who wrote the book, The Alter Ego Effect, and is one of our keynote speakers at the event. And Todd plans to be at the party, so I can't wait to see if Todd comes dressed. And I have got a couple of costumes in mind. I don't normally dress up. In fact, to be honest with you, one of the great things about this year is that it's making me look forward to Halloween. I typically don't enjoy Halloween. Some people love it. They live for it. They love the costume and dressing up. I just have weird memories of Halloween. And like when I was a comic, it was always a nightmare to work on Halloween, because the crowd would come dressed up, and that gave them permission to be their alter asshole. And so you'd be getting heckled by a guy in the Scream mask, and I don't know. I just never really enjoyed the alter asshole. It's going to be my book. Kevin Rogers, author of The Alter Asshole Effect. Anyway, it's making me love Halloween, and I'm actually like planning a costume. Like, how great is that? If you're at a party anyway, like, I should just embrace that every Halloween you get to do that. Show up somewhere as not you. Holy smokes. Like, isn't that something we all should do more often, is like dress up and be like, literally not have to be who we are, and pay the consequence of being ourselves that night. And so I may or may not have ordered a pair of leather pants. That's all the clue I'll give you of who my alter ego might be. But depending on how those pants look and feel will indicate whether I commit to that costume or find a different alter ego whose outfit I can wear more comfortably. Not assless, David. Sorry to disappoint. But hey, I do have scissors, and so we don't know. We'll see. Maybe that would be okay. Here we go. All this, I'm sorry to make, Veronica, that the thing I talked about before bringing you on for your hot seat. Hello, Veronica. Welcome. I will unmute your mic. Can I hear you?
Yeah, you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can't see you yet.
Oh, okay.
You might have to change your camera settings at the bottom there of Zoom.
Okay. Oh.
Yay. There you are. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too.
You got kind of oh, there you go. The light's adjusting. You were like in a green tint. It looked like on Star Trek when they start to contact the enemy ship, right? And it's like green guy,
Oh, that's weird.
Now it looks perfect. Except your bar, your mic stand is kind of.
I know. I tried to move it.
It doesn't work out. Like, but you got a professional setup there, huh? You've done this before.
I've never done this before, but I have the arm. It's all set up, but just never did it.
You look like you've been podcasting for years with the mic and headphones. And nice work.
Thanks.
Well, I'm excited to dive in here. And like I said, I'm going to bring on a couple pros. Chris Orzakowski, that's about all the firepower you need. But I'm going to bring other people who you feel might be specially qualified to help. But Dean Edelson is here. Just like catch us up. And tell us what this ad is about, what your goal is for it, and how we can best help you.
Okay. I think that the biggest thing that I was looking at right now is the landing page. I haven't really put myself out there a lot as far as letting people see me, know me, or even putting my personality on anything yet. So what I was basically focused on is the landing page right now, just to make sure that it's juicy enough and that the target audience would be curious enough to opt in for the advertorial. So
all right, cool. So tell us what are we selling and to who at the end of the day here?
At the end of the day, this is a monthly newsletter that I would write for them.
Okay. You would write for them as a service they could deliver to their audience, or this is your marketing newsletter that you want people to pay for?
No, it would be a newsletter for them to send to their patients to get
their patients, medical expert. Oh, these are dentists, correct?
Right.
Yeah,
that's
gotcha.
right.
Okay, cool. All right. So the avatar is dentists. The service is content marketing for dentists, essentially, and you're offering a monthly newsletter. And again, you're selling yourself as much as anything here. And I'm thrilled to hear, by the way, that you want to put yourself out there more, because I'm really enjoying talking to you and would love to. I think your presence is going to resonate well with people.
Good.
So it's and you get the camera going, and as soon as we move that over, you're going to be fine. So
yeah.
All right, cool.
I need one that's on the desk instead of the arm.
It's all good. All right, so I'm going to bring Chris back on, and Chris pulls no punches. So and I know you want that, because I always say the moment we become a true writer is when we crave the harsh critique. And I'm going to also bring who else would Carrie Carr want to come on, or would Rachel want to come back? Let's see if Rachel, tap into your alter ego again. I'm going to really put you, are you cool to come back, Rachel? Cool. All right. Let's bring Rachel back. And does anybody have any particular experience with this market, with dentists, with marketing to dentists or other medical professionals of any kind? Let me know if you do, and then we can have you come on. All right, so now, Veronica, say hi to Chris and Rachel.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Rachel.
What's
Hello.
up?
All right, and so let me share what we're looking at here. And this is a postcard, Veronica?
This is a postcard. I have probably 1,000 of them right now.
1,000 of this exact postcard, ready to, you're going to lick stamps and send these things out yourself.
They've already been licked. They're already done.
All right, they're ready to go.
They're ready to go, yes.
Licking complete. Check that box. All right, great. All right, so let's see. So guys, this is coming to us. We're dentists in the office, and it says, question, how can you add an additional 25 plus patient visits next month? And this is the back of it, Veronica?
Yes.
Okay.
So either side that it lands on, that's what both sides look like.
Great. By my calculations, you've got around 775 things that you already do to run your dental practice each month. Let us handle your patient newsletters. Email or print patient newsletters can generate an additional 25 plus patient visits every month. Let us do the writing and technology setup for you. Okay. Getpatientvisits.com. And then this will appear where?
This is the landing page copy.
Okay, gotcha. So then when I go here, we get offline, go online, and then we get a free white paper reveals how writing one email newsletter drives 20 to 50 additional patient visits a month for this local doctor. Will you be the last person to see that your current email newsletter just ain't working? We sent that. Okay, cool. Oh, this is Dr. Ben. That's Ben Adkins?
Yes. I bought it from him.
Oh, so this is a product that he licensed and that you now can go out and market for as your own.
Yes.
I see. And does he, I assume what comes with that is is this his protocol for does he recommend sending out postcards to sell this to dentists, or is that?
Yes, that's part of the things that he included with it. Okay. Yes.
And same with this template. Is this tested and proven by him, or is this all of your doing?
Nope, that's him.
Okay, so we're looking at a product, a packaged marketing product that was that you purchased that you are now going to use to create clients? And have you so nothing has gone out, this is untested for you as of yet, Veronica?
No, I took his initial advice, which was to go into the offices, talk in person to the receptionists, and hand out donuts and brochure and all of those things, and then come back and sell them on it. That did not go over very well.
Yeah, this brother, you're making it easy on them, buddy.
Yeah. So
step one, pull in the Dunkin' Donuts. Step two, disrupt people at work. Step three, get them to commit to something they don't understand. Step four.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not picking on Ben. I don't know Dr. Ben Adkins. I know he's respected in some circles, so I'm just going to look at this subjectively. But let's pretend we don't know or care about any of that, Chris. As a marketing plan, what are you seeing here?
So let me just make sure I understand. So you're going to send these postcards to these people. They're going to go to the site, and your goal is to get them to opt in, right?
That is my goal, so that I can at least get interest. That's what I was thinking, that I would generate interest that way instead of interrupting people at work, like you said.
Yeah. And then so like after someone opts in, then what happens?
Then they would receive the free advertorial. I don't call it that, but they would receive the free advertorial plus a sample of what it would look like going into people's email inboxes. And then I would just, I have a short follow-up sequence, still following up with them. But in the advertorial is my phone number for them to call as well. So
okay,
that's their other option, is to call me.
Gotcha. So is there any email follow-up to this?
To the
once they opt in, they go through like an autoresponder or like, okay.
Yes, I set up an autoresponder.
Gotcha. And what is your offer? Like, how do you basically just work, you write one version of it essentially, and then just license it out to all these people. And so you go into their email and like send it out and push all the buttons and stuff?
Yes.
Okay. Now, do these people have, these dentists, do they have lists already, like email lists? They
should. If they don't, then I would help them get those people to opt in.
And how would they have accumulated that list? Through other marketing efforts or from like former patients or?
When a patient comes into the office, they fill out a form, and on that form is a spot for their email address. And so we would just collect it that way.
Okay.
But they still haven't opted in, so I would still, get them to opt in. So, but they have consented, I think, by adding their email address.
Gotcha. Okay, so here's what I would do. So you have the case study essentially. That's what the opt-in bribe is right now, right?
Yes.
Or it's one half of it essentially, because the other half is the free newsletter, right?
Yes.
If I were you, I would take that entire case study and that would be the page itself. And the reason why is because they don't know you. They got something in the mail. I think if it was maybe, and I could be wrong, I don't know, but like, I think it was maybe 15, 20 years ago when people were like starving for information, then yeah, you could just, oh yeah, I'll sign up for this thing and I'll put my email address in here. But I think nowadays these people probably get bombarded with this stuff. So if you kind of take the whole, and this is definitely a riff off Dean Jackson's idea where he basically, in his, when he does ads in Success Magazine, he makes that the most valuable page in the entire magazine. It's an ad, but it like literally teaches you like, hey, send this 9-word email and you'll make money. So then after people try that, they're like, holy shit, this guy knows his stuff. And now I'm definitely going to opt in. I think if people want to, I think if they read that case study, you're asking them to take a big like leap of faith to put their email in because they're like, I don't know who this person is. They sent me this postcard. I've never heard of them. They're probably going to bombard me with marketing messages. But if you kind of lead with that, the whole page is just this one big ass case study. You're like, here's the doctor, here's the town he was in, here's the problem, here's what we did, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the things we did. Here was the result. Here's what the patient said. And it's just like this crazy, awesome case study. The people who get to the bottom of that and are nodding along the whole time, they're going to be like, wow, this is incredible. Like, how do I get this person to do this for me? And then, oh, there's the opt-in, and oh, holy crap, they're going to give me a free news. They're going to give me, 1 or 2 or even 3 free issues of the thing, so I could even take it and send it myself. At that point, you're kind of front loading with so much value. The thing is, like, these people, they are never, ever going to actually go in and go into their email address and do it themselves. This is a job that often gets pushed on to the receptionist or the front office person at their at the dentist office. Like, there's absolutely no way in hell this dentist is ever going to fire up their laptop and be like, I'm going to send some emails out. Like, it's just never going to happen. So you could give them a year's worth of issues or back issues, whatever. They're not going to go and create a new one, and they sure as hell aren't going to go in and push the buttons and do it themselves. So if that's the value proposition, if that's what you're selling, then yeah, you can give, like, I found this in my own copywriting business. Like, I would give these free trainings to like certain like business groups, and I would spend an hour and a half like, oh, here's how you do an autoresponder, and here's what to put in email 1, and here's an example, and here's the template, and then here's email 2. And I would do that for like a 10 email autoresponder. And every single time people would be like, wow, it sounds like you really know what you're talking about. Can I just give you money to do this for me? So I know that that's like a desire that people have. They're like, wow, okay, you clearly know what you're talking about. I think that's the way to go about this, just because you have so much of like a trust bridge that you need to build between people who've literally never heard of you, and they find something in the mail. So that's what I would probably do.
Yeah. Yeah. Does that make sense, Veronica?
Yes, that makes sense. And actually, that's what Ben said to do, is to just put it on a page and not do the opt-in part. I just wanted the opt-in part so that I could follow up and know who read it.
You could also put a retargeting pixel on that page as well. So that's another way, and you could just retarget with another lead magnet. So you do have options there. But yeah, I totally get that. And you will get opt-ins, but like really the only opt-ins you want are the people who've read that case study and people who have seen the power of what you do. Right. So if, you don't want a list of people who you roped them into giving, not that you're trying to rope them into giving their email address, but essentially that's kind of what they think. Right. Those are if they're never going to read your stuff and they just opt in and get the thing and unsubscribe or use a burner email address, whatever, like they're never going to turn into money anyway. Right. We want the people who see, and this is why, this is, Kev, why I do so much freaking content, because by the time people want to, by the time people are ready to give me money, they've consumed my emails, they've read all my articles, they've heard me on podcasts, they've seen me on video, they've seen me on cheap chats. Right. So it's literally the same idea, just applied in different industry. Like the more of that value you can front load, I think it's just going to be huge.
Yeah, I think a ton of proof is needed here. And one thing I'm not seeing, even when I get to this part, the white paper, it's like, Dr. Ben, but why? Like, who's my trusted authority here on why these work, right? Like, so I don't know if that's a factor or what, but I feel like this is a lot of friction. Veronica, I always think about, how can we remove all the friction from somebody saying yes, or please tell me more, or wow, this is exciting. What is the dream come true for this avatar? And reading a white paper that explains to them how sending a newsletter might bring more patients is not the dream come true. The dream come true is, how would you like to do nothing and add 25 new patients a month to your, and so I think the proof is going to be essential here, and really they have to feel like, okay, what are other people doing that we're not doing? I'm sure it's like very competitive, and they're aware of, like, when they go to conferences or they see the dentist around the corner, they hear, oh, they're always booked, and like they know secretly their whole staff wishes they worked for that dentist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need to like prick all those insecurities and go, dentists who don't even have as good a reputation of you and don't care for their patients on the same level as you are overbooked, and you're sitting here with holes in your calendar. What's the problem here? What do they know that you don't? And then, so you got to either get their ego to sit up and read, or it's got to be some kind of fix a bigger problem than just, sure, it'd be nice to have more patients. But the way this is right now, to be honest, it feels like it. And again, I know it's what was provided to you, but my critique is that it feels like it's very obviously it's cheese and not, it's whiskers and not cheese. It feels like it's, the goal of it is to get you signed up, get them signed up as your client so you can make money, and hopefully this system will actually work. It doesn't feel like, let you, I want to let you in on a secret that may change your life and solve your immediate problem of not having enough patience. And if we can get it to that level, and again, like, I just don't know how new this is, or how, you know, what the proof is that this is still working as a marketing vehicle. You know, a white paper, an email newsletter. I mean, let's be honest. When's the last time you saw a newsletter from your dentist and going, sorry, honey, we can't go to dinner because I just got the newsletter from Dr. Yekowitz and I gotta read this. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to bum you out. I just want to say we got to question all the objections that they might have around, will this work for them? It's got to feel fresh and new. And, you know, if they're not reading newsletters, but they are spending all day on Facebook, like maybe there's other channels or ways to incorporate what people are actually doing to make this feel fresh and new and current and like a breakthrough that they want to be a part of. That'd be my thought. Okay, Rachel, sorry, we yammered on and hopefully left you some fresh ideas. So what are you seeing?
Yeah, sure. So I kind of look at it through two lenses, through the copy lens, but then also through the graphic design lens. And when I see that postcard, it doesn't really break down the process for me. And I think that that's something that would really help if it was broken down for the prospect, where he can say, okay, this is what I have to give them. This is what they give me. These are the results. It could even just be 3 things. But from a visual standpoint, that would send the message very clearly, like, this would be easy for me, and look at all of the wonderful ways I would benefit from that. And then leading into the white paper or the case study, as Chris said, if you choose to use that route, just make it very, very step by step. You know, like when we are closing a letter, we don't just say, order now. We say, order now, pick up your phone, call this number, talk to this person, say this. Like, you have to make it very, very explicit. So I think that just kind of making your message more step by step and explicit, so that the dentist will understand, oh my gosh, this is an opportunity that I absolutely have to take. It's going to be really helpful. And look at all these steps. It's really going to be easy for me. I think it's really helpful.
Yeah, great point, Rachel. Yeah, really good. And Veronica, there's some, and by the way, after this, when we post the replay, we'll post up all the comments here, because a lot of great stuff in the comments. You may have been reading along, but some people, Darren's father was a dentist for 60 years. And you know what I'm seeing a lot of in the theme here is they want that higher end patient, you know?
Yes.
And is that been discussed in this, in what Dr. Ben teaches? And tell me more about, like, are there other options? Is this just one postcard? Are there other marketing angles? What is involved in this?
That would probably be the only marketing angle. The only other thing that I'm thinking is that, you know, just to even get them to feel like they know me without me having to do all of that legwork of walking into office after office after office when they're busy, like you said, they're working.
Yeah, that's no fun at all.
And, you know, just finding out if I can even get them to interact with me online or something like that, which has been very difficult. A lot of those groups that are for dentists, they're closed groups, and you'd literally have to create your own group from scratch. And you know, just find a way to even just get a conversation started with
or you'd have to go to dental school, which might take a few years to, you know.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. That's not happening.
How did you become a dentist? I wanted to market.
Right.
I wanted to feel qualified.
No.
Yeah, you know, let me ask you, I'm just going to take a step to the left here, Veronica, and say, what is it you want from your career? Do you consider you're not a freelance marketer or something? What do you want to have happen as a result of this personally?
You know, I basically just want to be able to work from home and not have to fight with traffic and all that extra stuff that comes along with leaving home to work. So I basically just wanted to have my own book of clients that I could serve and, help them to grow as needed. People who are already started, people who already have something. And,
Yep, gotcha.
something that I can actually do.
Yeah. And look, the reason I don't want to be discouraging about this. It's just that this is a critique and we see what we say because we care and we want things to be easier for you. And I want to be able to offer what ifs, what if you tried this? What if you tried that? But the reality is I feel like that would be a little ahead of what we're talking about because you're just looking to get any reaction to this, right? Now this may or may not work out, this particular product for this market but here's the good thing about it. If you talk to anybody who's successful in direct response, they all have that first product story, that first thing they heard about or tried, something that got us interested and educated that this whole world even exists. And so your inspiration to want to do this is valid, is genuine, and is the first step of finding out what it's going to end up looking like. We know that it'll be different. Even if this was successful, within 6 months or a year, you'd be on to something different. And so really all you want to do is get some savvy and have people react in a way that encourages you that, okay, I did find a thing, or I'm close to finding a thing that's actually going to help me, reach this goal of getting out of traffic and not having to clock in to get paid. Right. So yes. I applaud that effort and I don't want to discourage it in any way because, people find their way into this world all kinds of ways. And this was yours. And so it's more important to me that you don't think, oh, I tried that work from home thing and I tried to market to dentists and nobody would talk to me. And so I guess that doesn't work. This works in all kinds of cool ways. It just might not be through this particular method, but hang out on Copy Chief and see, ask other people, how did you get, started? Maybe, copywriting, for you might be the thing. There's, go through the money skills, go through Chris's email course and, the training or the Facebook training or Rachel Maz's Advertorial training and say what resonates with you? What do you enjoy writing? And you could hang out a freelance shingle, all kinds of ways that you could do this and feel like you have control over it. But so again, I'm trying to be careful not to be discouraging, but I also don't want you to be so frustrated by this first endeavor that you give up.
Thank you. Right. I think that the biggest thing for me was I didn't feel like I had enough experience doing this job in particular for anyone. Yeah. Even though I've done it for people and it was on a small scale, just people that I knew personally who are small business owners. But I feel like I didn't do it for long enough and I really wanted to do more. Yeah. And it's just, I feel like I'm making a transition again.
Yeah. So. Well, let's, stay in dialogue about, if not this, then what? And you have a whole community here of people who would love to help you and help you figure it out. It's not always an overnight thing. Sometimes you got to think through a bunch of different stuff, but like I said, your reasons are completely valid and the opportunities are definitely out there. So I can't wait till we're having a conversation about what is working and how we can improve it. Let's make sure we help get you there.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do.
Can I just add one thing?
Please.
Go ahead.
Veronica, I smiled when you said that because I'm in such a similar state right now. And I've been having a lot of conversations with Angie Coley about, feeling like an expert, feeling like I can just go out and do this. And she actually, just joking around, she just anointed me an expert. I'm sure she's done that to other people. It's just, we're an expert there, it's done. Just get over it. Yeah. So if you're looking for a little bit of inspiration, maybe reach out to her. She's pretty awesome for just.
Yeah. Keeps it real and helps us get past ourselves for sure.
For sure.
All right, Veronica, thank you for doing this. And again, if there's something here, we'll find it. If there's something somewhere else, we'd love to help. You find that too. So Absolutely. We're here for you and we'll get there together.
Okay, great. Thank you.
It was great meeting you. Thank you so much, Rachel and Chris. Really appreciate you guys.
Thanks.
This was a fun one. Thanks everybody for tuning in and hanging out. We'll see you on the next one. And don't forget, Bo, the podcast starts Monday, but we're going to sneak it in today. So get going on that, and I'll see you guys there. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Hey, guys.